Hey everyone, Anthony Cosenza with Casabella Realty Group here, coming at you with a March 10th real estate market update. A lot going on in the market. There's a little bit of some more active homes hitting the market here in as spring gets going and as we continue on with all kinds of different things with the year. Obviously, we're starting to see a little bit of some improvements with the coronavirus and all of that. And so now you're seeing a little bit of a little bit of a flurry of activity, but also some other things going on in the world are affecting a number of different things as well. But regardless, a lot of interesting and things to monitor within the real estate market. Again, I'm Anthony Cosenza, realtor with Casabella Realty Group, coming at you with the March 10th real estate market update. We've got a lot to get to on this video, including we've got some reports on housing data to bring you folks. We've got some interesting findings courtesy of realtor.com in terms of pricing and all of that, and what does that mean for home buyers. We've got a little bit of advice for first-time home buyers and what to potentially avoid as you look to buy your first home in this aggressive and sometimes rushed market. We've got an MLS inventory and data update for you, as well as some information on the loan industry front from a trusted professional there. So without further ado, let's get it started with the market update. Okay, let's start with our trusted allies over at Reports on Housing. They bring all kinds of great information to us in the real estate market. And this image kind of says it all, right? the big eyes, the shoulder shrug, and I don't know. In terms of Orange County data, here's a little bit of snapshot information from Reports on Housing. 5,046 homes placed on the market in the first 2 months. Now, granted, February is a shorter month, but regardless, just over 5,000 homes placed on the market January through February of 22 in Orange County. That is a major difference compared to a 3-year average. And then, of course, the minus 18% difference compared to the 3-year average overall. So that is something to note there, and some snapshot information from Reports on Housing. Here's a little bit more in terms of extended information from those great economic gurus over at Reports on Housing. Here we go. Coming up spring, the spring market, more homes on the market during the spring than any other time during the year, and demand reaches a peak. That kind of goes with what our MLS inventory update says for you. Inventory is on the rise. The active listing inventory increased by 48 homes, up 4%. Now totals 1,406. Its lowest level for this time of the year since tracking began 19 years ago, but it is up 4% from previous months here. In February, there were 13% fewer homes that came on the market compared to the 3-year average. Last year, there were 2,366 homes on the market, 960 additional homes, or 68% more. Demand is steadily rising. It continues to rise. The number of pending sales over prior month increased by 197 pending sales in the last 2 weeks, up 10%, and now totals 2,195. There were almost 3,000 pending sales last year, 35% more than today. Closed sales are down year over year. There were 1,811 closed residential resales in January, 20% less than January 21, which was at 2,250. January marked a 27% drop compared to December of 21. We do always traditionally expect a drop in terms of transactions and whatnot in January. December can be a little bit slower as well, just because of all the holidays and all of the hubbub with that stuff. But we always kind of expect January to be a little bit of a slower month. The sales to list price ratio was 102.3% for all of Orange County. So that means on average, folks, as they list their homes and sell their homes, they are getting 2.3% over the original list price in Orange County. Foreclosures accounted for just 0.3% of all the closed sales. So that means close to 100% of the sales in Orange County were regular sales, not short sales, not foreclosures, anything of that nature. So that is some great information and data, as always, from Reports on Housing. I'm going to share this one. This is a recent article from Realtor.com. And now Realtor.com, this is important. We kind of went from Orange County centric to now there's some national averages and things of that nature. And then we will go back in a couple of minutes to more of a micro level in terms of focusing on Orange County once again. But up and away, home prices reach a new record high. How long can this go on? And this was as of March 3rd, talking about how, we'll scroll back up here, national median home price average $392,000. Now, obviously, substantially higher than that in Orange County, but across the board, across the nation, $392,000 is the national average right now in terms of home median prices. You see that skyrocketed a full 26.6% compared with February 2020, right before the pandemic. So if you purchased right before the pandemic, you have gained quite a bit of equity. If you purchased a long time before the pandemic hit, you have accrued quite a bit of equity as well. But that also tells you now, if you have waited, what you potentially have missed out on in terms of equity or the continued opportunity that is there for you. And I know this is kind of doom and gloom a little bit in some of this stuff for home buyers and looking to and home prices and all of that, what we're going over here, but there's still great opportunities here. You can see the news couldn't come at a worse time for buyers hoping to land an affordable home right now. However, talking about has the spring home buying rush already arrived? You can see here national average 47 days in February, quicker than that in Orange County, but that breaks down to buyers scooping up properties 17 days faster than the same time last year. So it is moving fast and furious for sure, and 32 days quicker than pre-pandemic days in February of 20. Here's the ray of hope for home buyers, though. Quote, for people weighing their options, they should consider their time horizon and individual circumstances, says George Rettiu of Realtor.com. If they plan to live in their current city for the next 3 to 5 years, leveraging current mortgage rates to lock in a fixed monthly payment, even at today's higher listing prices, can provide a much-needed cushion in the face of rising inflation and rents. We've talked about how it's not just home prices and list prices that are skyrocketing, it's rent prices. So when you think that, I want to be in this area, I'm waiting for the right deal, I can understand that. We understand that as a brokerage and as agents. However, if you're going to wait it out and rent, potentially, the rent rates are going up higher and higher and increasing as well, along with inflation. We've talked about that on these videos and on our website. So that is something to really consider. Mortgage rates are still low. They have risen over the past year by about close to 1% overall in terms of interest rates, but when you look at, there was a slight dip recently with everything going on in the world, but there's a slight dip there. They're going to battle inflation, and those are going to continue to slowly rise, is what everything is predicted at this point in time. So there are still low mortgage rates. If you're looking to buy and you have not done so, there are still some favorable mortgage rates. And of course, you have to take into account the rent rates, whether it's current rise in a home that you are currently renting, or if you're looking to move out and get to a new rental place, maybe you've outgrown where you're at, it's still going to be that those rental rates are going to move up with inflation as well. So you need to keep that in mind. And obviously there are many perks to owning a home. We've talked about that too, tax breaks, etc. So that is something to really consider. And while again we talked about how these list prices and the median home price and all this kind of stuff are rising, so are rent rates, but mortgage rates have risen a little bit. They're still very favorable for a home purchase, and that's something to really keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind, and this is just kind of a friendly tip from Casabella Realty Group, and this is on our blog that is up and running. We have videos and articles and whatnot at CasabellaRealtyGroup.com. Want to make sure you go over there and check that out. Here is a blog here First-time homebuyers shouldn't overlook these potential issues with their purchase. So this is the deal. A lot of times in this market, it's about getting the house and not making sure that things are right with the house necessarily. Number one, you got to make sure you hire a great professional that represents you as a home buyer. With that also, a lot of us in the real estate industry do have a lot of contacts with fellow real estate agents, realtors in the industry, especially in a specific area. So we can trust a number of other realtors to work with. If we're representing you on the buying side, we know a lot of realtors as well on the listing side, perhaps. And there's oftentimes a good rapport there, so we can make sure that everything is taken care of here. But I want to say this here. I mean, obviously, there are concessions that home buyers are making in this market to get into the house. And I'm not just talking about the financial side. A lot of times folks are pressured to waive certain contingencies and whatnot in an effort to get these homes in this aggressive market. While we are in tune with what's going on with the market, we do always keep our clients' interests, their best interests in mind. And so we walk everybody through that and want to make sure they know what's involved in that. But a lot of times you land the house, if you're a first-time home buyer, you land the house, you're excited. And really, when you think about it, you've gone through the home maybe once, maybe twice before buying the home. And that was 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe through a walkthrough, an open house appointment, what have you. Because that's the way things are right now with this, with the high demand that keeps going out there. There's a lot of people that are seeing the same home as you. Well, let's say you land the deal, you land the home, and obviously inspections are crucial. So you need to make sure that you get your inspections in line, whether that's termite or regular home inspections. Make sure you have trusted professionals on that front as well. But there are other things too. And you can see here, one of the ones we've talked about a couple. There are others in other articles out there as well. But HVAC systems are huge potential problems. And you need to know, did the previous owner, did they keep that system up? How old is the air conditioning unit? What kind of shape is the furnace in? All of that kind of stuff that comes up in an inspection. And oftentimes a listing agent will also tell you, hey, they replaced the furnace X amount of years ago. They replaced the air conditioning X amount of years ago. Water heaters can also be in that kind of same thing. How long ago has a water heater been replaced? Is it tankless? Is it not? All of those here. And you can see here, issues with these systems might not even occur to a first-time home buyer who's never had financial responsibility for them before. And this is a real estate agent, Craig McCullough, out of Washington, D.C. They're used to renting, and if a water heater or sump pump fails, it's the landlord who's on the hook for the repairs. Well, as a buyer and as a homeowner, that would be on you now. So you need to make sure that a lot of these things are in working order. And a lot of times now in this market, there's an as-is sale and all of that. You need to make sure that you have a trusted real estate agent, a realtor behind you to make sure that everything is, in proper order and things are checked out if and when you land the deal. That's just something you really need to be careful about. You can also see the other big things. A lot of times folks see a crack in the driveway or the garage. That's just, that's been there for a long time. Oh, okay. You need to sometimes, if it's something that looks pretty serious, you need to have someone come check it out, whether that's a foundational expert or what have you. We've had situations where we've represented a buyer on raised foundation homes, and it was an as-is sale, but we opted for a foundations expert to go in and look at everything on the raised foundation under the house. They had the little crawl space under the house. They went in there, found some issues, and then we were able to negotiate the fixing of those issues. And that was something that we made sure we wanted to protect our clients' interests on that front. And it was a very important, that's structural, that's foundation. So these are the types of things you need to look out for. And these are the types of things that, whether you work with us at Casabella Realty Group, we will make sure that we check all these boxes for you, make sure all these things that you may not think about as a first-time home buyer, or maybe even not even so much a first-time home buyer. Maybe you haven't bought a house in a long time and you're kind of, these things slip your mind or you don't think about it readily. That's our job, to protect you and look at these kinds of issues. So we want to make sure and just give you some tips on this video, and of course refer you to our blog at Casabella Realty Group for other articles and videos that'll help you out here. But these are things to think about as you potentially buy a house, whether it's your first time or maybe it's not your first time. Maybe it's something that you just haven't been in the market for a while, and these are the things that you're just not quite thinking about. And that's okay, because buying a house can be daunting. There's a lot of information, a lot of things to process. And sometimes if you're selling your own home along with buying it, there's a lot of information on both sides. So you gotta figure all of that out. And we want to make sure at Casabella Realty Group, as your brokers and as your realtors, that you are well taken care of and you are well informed of everything going on in your purchase or your sale. Let's get to the Orange County MLS market update for March 10th. And we have our usual video here, and we will play that for you right now. Here is the 310 Orange County MLS inventory update. Coming soon, there are 210, and this is as of the morning of March 10th. 160 of those 210 are coming from Friday, 3/11 through March 21st. Active 1397, 478 of those from March 1st, the beginning of the month. So just about a week and a half here. Active under contract, which is, these are those that are, got a deal in place here. 1,253, 188 since March 7th, the beginning of this week. Pending, which is a similar status to active under contract, but basically, the sale is pending on that. 1,463 with 118 of those since the beginning of the week here. So quite a bit of activity in the beginning of the week. And closed since the beginning of the month, 664 since March 1st. So the latter half of things are moving. We have seen a slight uptick on the coming soon and the actives for the month, the beginning of month of March, as opposed to the beginning of the year in general. So there are a couple more options. And of course, we've got some buyer clients that are also looking at some property out of the area, whether that's in San Diego County, Riverside County, LA County even. There are some options there, and we're seeing some different options peek their head out in those markets too. But this is Orange County specific right here, and you can see there are a lot going on in Orange County from the MLS and the inventory update there. So we always want to keep you up to date on what's going on with the market, especially as it pertains to potentially Orange County, and giving you the data there. So hopefully that paints a picture for you and lets you know whether you're on the buying side, whether you're on the listing side, or just in general, you're just kind of wanting some information. Maybe you're keeping an eye on things for a future purchase, a future sale. Keep those kind of numbers in mind there. And obviously, if you are on the selling side, you see the lower inventory numbers. And if you want to capitalize on some equity in the home, in your home that you've accrued over the past months, years, what have you, let us know. We would love to work with you. One of the great industry professionals that we love to work with is Chris Pacheco at the Pacheco team. They are lending professionals. We have worked with Chris on a number of different items and worked with a number of different clients, whether it was we've had a refinance, we've had a purchase and whatnot. He always takes great care of our clients, and they always rave about his level of service. And so we can't talk about his level of service and his care of our clients enough. And he's done refinances for clients of ours that are out of state. He's done purchases for folks who are buying a property in Orange County. So he's done a little bit of everything, and he is works with a lot of veterans and whatnot. So he has a lot of experience doing a lot of different things, and we appreciate the information that he always generously sends us weekly here at Casabella Realty Group. And here is last week's activity. You can see here job creations were strong in February. That was one of the reports and one of the things that was talked about in the State of the Union. While comments from the Fed and ongoing fear and uncertainty surrounding Russia's invasion of Ukraine contributed to added volatility in markets. Unemployment decreased from 4% to 3.8%. CoreLogic's home appreciation report showed 1.4% gain of value in homes. 19.1% year over year is the highest reading in 45 years of the report. Rents are also up. There you go, 17.6%. Like I said, year over year. So if you rented something last year and you're looking at let's say that lease was up and your landlord or what have you either is releasing it or is selling it, what have you, or if you're looking to release that property from your landlord, chances are if you had a 1-year lease or what have you, you are looking at a substantial year over year rent increase, whether that's again, going after another property that you're renting, maybe staying in this and renegotiating a lease with your landlord, et cetera. Chances are that's going to be going up significantly. So that is a big indicator and a big piece of information for potential buyers out there. Volatility in markets being caused by the war in Ukraine. We just kind of talked about that. This week's outlook, you see here today, stocks are lower and mortgage bonds are lower after talks of U.S. and allies ban of Russian oil. Consumer Price Index report 10 and 30-year bond auctions are taking place this week as well. Here are the rates. The conventional 30-year national average is just under 4%. We've been doing these videos now for a year and a half. And, I can remember that number beginning with 2, along with many others on this list, instead of a 3. So FHA 30-year, 3.5%. National average jumbo 30-year, 4.375%. VA 30-year, a little more favorable, 3.425%. Bank statements, 4.425%. Debt service coverage, 4.535%. Asset depletion, 4.425%. Obviously, those last 3 are a little bit different types of loans out there for folks, and a lot of different references that Chris uses here. You can see here some market information as well. And again, you can go to the Pacheco team, funded by Chris.com is the website address. So go check him out. Go check out what they're doing there with the Pacheco team. And they take great care of clients. We can definitely attest to that. Real quickly, we do a community corner. So I guess we will do that again. We're kind of rehashing one from a little bit ago, but we'll talk about this just because it's coming up this weekend. Okay, quickly, Swallows Day is coming on Saturday, and this is a big deal because it has taken a 2-year hiatus. It is an annual event in downtown San Juan Capistrano. There is a morning parade. It's also coinciding with, I believe, Restaurant Week throughout the city, or Orange County Restaurant Week, et cetera. So there's a lot of stuff to do on Saturday. Obviously, there's going to be some traffic. There's going to be some different things going on there, but should be a fantastic time. You can go to swallowsparade.com. You can see here Metrolink will not be operating any trains to San Juan Capistrano on Saturday. So that's something also if you're coming in from out of county, out of city, what have you. But again, they took 2 years off because of the coronavirus pandemic, and now it is back. So there's a street fair. There are beer gardens. There are all kinds of different special deals, meals, and whatnot at restaurants, bars, etc. downtown. And of course, there is a street fair. There are a lot of different antique vendors in downtown San Juan, and it's supposed to be a nice day this weekend, and it should be a beautiful one to walk around and check out one of the most historic cities in San Juan Capistrano. So you can see here, 62 years is how this event has been up and running. There is a parade in the morning. There are all kinds of events throughout the day. There's going to be a lot of people. Plan accordingly in terms of ride share, carpools, walking around town, all that kind of stuff. Parking might be a little crazy, but it should be an awesome event and an awesome time for the city of San Juan Capistrano, and really one of the signature events of Orange County and the state of California. I mean, obviously, there's the missions that are all throughout the state of California, and these are things that a lot of folks love to celebrate: the history of the city, the history of the missions, and of course, the mission is right there in the heart of downtown San Juan Capistrano. Go check it out this Saturday. There's going to be stuff going on all day and even into the evening, so you're going to want to check that out. I'm Anthony Cosenza with Casabella Realty Group. Keep it to CasabellaRealtyGroup.com for all kinds of different articles, upcoming listings. We've got one that we teased last week as well, and we'll get you more information on that one as we get closer to putting that on the market. So keep your eye out for that desert property out in Indio, a great one. And of course, others that we have coming on the market. And if we can do anything for you on the buying side, if you're looking at leases, what have you, let us know. We want to be your go-to real estate resource. CasabellaRealtyGroup.com. Have fun at Swallows Day if you end up going Saturday, and let us know what we can do for you in terms of your real estate needs, referring you to industry professionals, what have you. Have a great week.